The Golden State Warriors are making some moves. They just got Dennis Schroeder. I mean, technically, it's going to be tomorrow. Are they done? Could Vooch be next? Because he's tied up with them. So we're going to talk about this trade rumors right after this.
This is your home for all things Chicago Bulls. Join the conversation. You're listening to Chicago Bulls Nation.
All right, Bulls Nations. There are reports from Brett Siegel that there are uh, chatter that teams might be interested in Nikola Vucevic, and one of them is the Warriors. So we're going to talk about that team and Vuc's fit, and what can we potentially get for Vuce if that trade materializes. Now, the Golden State Warriors just got Dennis Schroeder addressing one of their needs in the point guard position, and as we know, they're looking for some help, some firepower, because their offense just becomes stagnant when Steph goes to the bench. This is not the same Warriors team where they have Jordan Poole and Clay was playing at a different level. It's a totally different team. So having Dennis Schroeder in there just kind of relieves Steph from bringing the ball down and having another playmaker on the court. But at the same time, they still need help on the front court. They have Kevon Looney, which is not a bad center. He's very serviceable. But if they can, I always felt like Vooch was perfect fit for the style of offense that they do. High-paced offense, and Vooch is playing out of his mind right now for the Bulls. He magically got sick. Maybe that's nothing against the Hornets last night. But Vooch, if he is on the Golden State Warriors, he spaces the floor for them. Yes, he's not the best defensively, but he's also not the worst. But they also have Draymond Green to mask that. And also, if they plug him in with some of their, capable wing defenders like Andrew Wiggins, then I think he'll be fine in that offense, in that team. Also, there's not if from a Golden State standpoint, this is not Zach LaVine, who you're taking on, $40 million contract for the next 3 years. He's making 20 this year, and 20 next year. So it's not absurd. It's not cheap, but you're also not tied up for long term. And if it's only gonna cost you, I believe the asking price now is a first round pick. Let's say you do a first round pick and you make it, lottery protected. Isn't that worth a gamble? To acquire him, especially if you don't have to give up somebody like Kuminga, which apparently Joe Lacob has like an affinity for. So from the Bulls standpoint, if the trade happens to be like this on the screen, I wonder how would you feel about this trade? Now, grant you, this is not, this is mostly for salary purposes. So you get Gary Payton II, Kevon Looney, and Moses Moody. None of those players should be in the Bulls' immediate future. None of them. Payton is expiring. Moody, I think, has a few more years left on his contract, so that kind of sucks. And Looney is also expiring. But now you're trading Vucevic and Torrey Craig just to make the salaries work. Hopefully you can flip Moody to another team, because I don't want another guard in here. But the biggest price for the Bulls here is the first round pick. If they can get a future first and that should be the starting point, because like I said, all these players has no value for the Bulls. I'm not saying they're trash, but with what the Bulls are trying to accomplish now, maybe Kevon Looney can play the 5 right next to Jalen Smith. But with that being said, with the youth movement that we're doing, maybe Moses Moody can plug it in there, but we have too many guards already. So the real price in here is the pick. Because if you're not going to get the pick, I'd really rather keep Vooch than acquiring those 3 players. If you can get like a protected first, maybe flip Moody elsewhere in a different trade, maybe just trade him for the sake of trading him, so you don't have to be stuck with his contract. That would be great. But other than that, I mean, I don't know if there's other teams, maybe the Lakers, that could provide that, a combination of expiring contracts and a first round pick. That would be ideal. Moody is the only one, but at the same time, you're getting rid of around 18 million when you trade Vooch. Not that we need that, honestly. If Moses Moody's contract was only 2 years, that would have been ideal. But the biggest price here, like I said, is the first round pick, and we can start Jalen Smith or Kevon Looney or whatever it is that you want to do, and you can start your youth movement. You can start losing games if you want to, because as long as Vooch is within this team, he's playing as well as he has played his entire career. I mean, shooting 48% on the three-point area for a big man is absurd. I think he's shooting like 58% from the field as well. So you can trade him, you can start losing. The sooner you trade him, the sooner you can start losing these games. And maybe you can go back to the hunt for, being top 6. Because if you hold on to Vooch till the trade deadline, it is well possible that we will get the 7th seed in this year's playoffs, where you don't stand a chance anyway. You go to the 7th seed, you're not going to make any noise. You just push yourselves out of this very deep draft class, and it's just going nowhere. I mean, if that's going to be the case, that's going to be the case. There's nothing you could do. But this is one of those teams that are supposedly looking at Vooch. So in the upcoming days, if he isn't traded soon, we're going to take a look at the other teams like the Pelicans and the Pistons on what could the potential trade might be. But until then, I see Vooch going there for this package because it makes sense for both. For Golden State, they're not giving up any significant rotational players. We're not asking for Kuminga. We're not asking for Wiggins here. So they keep their young core and the wings that they do have. What they give us are the players that they wouldn't play anyway. It's not going to be a big deal for them. It's the first that probably would matter to them most, unless they're planning on a bigger move. So we'll see. But in the upcoming days, like I said, maybe tomorrow I'll try to draft out a scenario for the Pistons and the Pelicans. But until then, let me know how this trade works out for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.